What is going on, feelers? It is Tim here, and today is about 6 weeks and 2 days since I broke my 35-day only water fast. And one of the biggest things that led me to fasting was actually iridology. And for those that don't know, iridology is the study of the iris. So your iris is, on me, what is blue. Some people have brown, and basically it's a ancient. It was used in ancient Greece apparently, but it's recently come to resurgence through people like Dr. Morse and Tyler Tolman, where they study your iris, and basically the iris acts as a monitor to look into your body, and that you can identify everything, every ailment that is wrong internally with your body or externally, skin and everything as well, through the iris. And so there are created, I don't know who created them, how they created them. This is absolute, I guess, genius. That's what someone does. But these maps, which I'll pull up here, of the right and the left eye, and how which section of the iris links to which part of the body, which organ, which bone, which joint, which completely which area of the body that it links to. And so there's one thing which is a map of the area. So when there's a distortion in the iris, it links to that area. But beyond that, there's also what type of distortion is there? Is it like a black hole? Is there like a brown orangey filling? Or is there like a white line or nerve rings? There's all these different things that can be how the iris is affected, to show how that part of the body is affected. So this is all one practice of I guess homeopathy, holisticism, something like that. That everything is connected. And then if anyone hasn't watched Dr. Morse, I recommend you check him out. He always goes through pictures of people's irises and tells them what's wrong. And so May of last year, just before I did my sort of raw food cleanse, and I took some herbs and stuff like that, I got an iridology report from a guy, Mark something, different Mark from the one I'm going to mention later. But he sent me a video of, like a 13-minute video of my iridology report, and showed me how, and I'll pull up some pictures of my iris from there actually. So my right eye and my left eye, you can see here, and told me some things about them and what I should work on, what herbs I should take to heal what things. And to be honest, I didn't specifically take the advice, but I was like, okay, a lot of it was things some of it you might already be conscious of if you're in tune with your body anyway. And to be honest, I'm not sure how much I truly believe in the power of herbs to cleanse. I'm sure in a different world with less EMFs and a more pure and less, and you sprayed herbs, and if you grew them naturally and maybe didn't dry them out and store them and tincture them, maybe they're more potent. But who knows anyway? Who am I to say? But I just found it fascinating, this story of iridology. And one of the things he said about my right eye, as you can see here, is there's this browny orange tinge at the top of it, which is sulfur buildup, which could have been from having big pharma, basically from having pharmaceuticals, from antibiotics and things like that, building sulfur inside me. You can see the white sort of circular line, which is supposedly mucus buildup in the lymphatic system in different areas. But one of the biggest things to note about the left and right eye is these rings on the outer side. You can see these like the waves on the outside. On my right eye here, you can see it on the left side of it. You can see the curvature lines, and on my left eye you can see it again, sort of on both sides around the whole thing. But this is supposedly nerve rings, so this is a sign of sort of a blown out adrenal gland. And as a guy who grew up doing a lot of sport, I guess what people would consider an extreme sport with parkour maybe, and just living as an Aries at the front line of doing things 100 miles an hour, my adrenal glands were fatigued, and I certainly felt it. And so you can see these nerve rings here on my before pictures from May last year. Now I recently made friends with a guy, Mark Copen, and he studied iridology under Tyler Tolman, and he was at the UK Fruit Festival, and he brought his camera along he also studies the sclera, which is the whites of the eyes, and you can see the red lines in the whites of the eyes. And this is, again, I'll show you these charts. This is all linked to something as well, linked to different parts of the body and how the lines move. If it's hooked, it means that it's healing or it's receding, and the way the lines are jumping about. So it's what it's linked to, and how it jumps is what it's actually telling us under this theory, under this study. So I think there's definitely some truth to this. I think that nature has simple methods, and that we could all, imagine if we went to school and all studied iridology, and we could all just be each other's doctors, and it would be simple diagnoses with just looking into each other's eyes. You need to look out for your organ, or you're doing too much stress to your liver. And since studying a bit of this, and I meet some people sometimes, and I see massive like orange build up over like blue background, or the outer ring's blue and there's massive orange in the middle, and I think that they've been on a serious case. And sometimes I'll ask people and tell them, and they've been on a serious case of antibiotics for a large portion of their life, and that's just build up this toxins within their body, and God bless them, at some point, maybe this lifetime or another, they'll have to deal with it, or it could be causing issues. And anyway, that's each person's journey. But for me, the few things that stood out were the orange sulfur at the top of my right eye, and these nerve rings. And so using Mark's, he's got a specific iridology camera, and I'll put a link to Mark down below if you're interested in speaking with him. But these are the photos from right before and then right after. Now, of course, the camera quality is better, so it looks a little clearer and a little crisper. But what you can see here is that the nerve rings have completely gone. Pretty much completely gone. I can't notice it on this picture. Sclera has changed. Mark is more interested in the sclera. I'm still coming from just fascinated with the iris, so I'm not going as deep into that stuff yet. But you can see, even with the difference in quality, there's still the orange there, still the sulfur that needs to be flushed out, some in whatever it is there. But the nerve rings have completely gone, and that is what I found the most fascinating. And here's the left eye before and after, and those rings that you can see, all the big U's, the C's, all completely gone as far as the eye can see. And my eyes, people told me they look clearer. I see they look clearer. So and the fact that I could look more directly into the sun and stare at it at the time when previously I know my face would that's a natural reaction, is when we squinting is a natural reaction, and I just had a lot less squint because my insides were a lot clearer, and therefore there's I think there's some connection between how pure we are and our ability to look at the sun, and how pure internally. And the more, if you have a wild night out, you wear those shades the next morning because you can't take that sunlight. Impure on the inside. It's simple, obvious nature telling us signs that we already know, if we're honest with ourselves. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, how my eyes changed before and after my fast, through this theory, what it healed, what's adjusted, what it didn't heal. There's still that more orange there than I expected. I thought all that orange would go in, especially 35 days, but it's still there. Mucus, so the journey continues. Maybe I do need some herbs. Maybe I need a juice fast. They say juice is astringent, so when you're just water fasting, you're not flushing so much. When you juice fast, you can flush stuff. Maybe juice fast on the cards. Maybe a different diet. I'm eating more fats now, looking into ketogenic stuff, and that certainly seems to be helped a lot of people, and it feels a lot better for me when I am adding more fats into it. But there is certainly a balance that sometimes I feel closer to answer, and sometimes I feel further than ever. So we're still on that path, that healing journey, listening to my body. But yeah, iridology is certainly one method that fascinated me, that it might interest you as well. I'll link to Mark down below. If you're interested, you can hit Mark up, and he'll help you out. Very friendly, lovely dude. And he's going to study more with Tyler Tolman. And yeah, or check out on YouTube Dr. Morse. But that was my iridology results before and after fasting. I hope you found some interest in that. And if you did, maybe subscribe. Like, this t-shirt is kind of satirical. You can wear it running. You know what I mean? It's not out yet, but I might do it out. Let me know what you think. Green like the heart chakra, like your heart centered, and fast. How fast do you want to heal? How quickly do you want to heal? then maybe the answer is in the name, and maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? We're on this journey. I love you all. Godspeed, guys.